Now, Manny, with the MVP thing today,
Yeah.
are we fools to think that he has any chance to win? Because I think after today, and let's say Paul Goldschmidt wins,
Mhm.
and I think I'm gonna at least this is gonna be my reaction. I'm gonna be
Mhm.
like, well, we know what the award is. It's not the MVP. It's the MOP. It's the most outstanding player. Because I think the most valuable player is obviously Manny Machado this year. The most outstanding player, the most outstanding stats. Okay, you could give that to Paul Goldschmidt. Arenado had some better offensive numbers than Manny, but most valuable, it it's Manny.
You said it exactly right. I don't think we're foolish to think that he could win it. I really don't. Now, do I think at the end of the day he will? No. But if you consider the totality of his work and what you just said, what he meant to his team, there is a real reason to believe that voters are going to understand that as well. With all that being said, it feels a little bit like a Lucy pulling the football away from Charlie Brown
Mhm.
situation where Machado oftentimes is considered a top 3 defensive player or a top 5 offensive player, and for whatever reason comes up short, right? Whether it's to an all-star team or to a gold glove or in an MVP award. Um, I think you're right. Now, there's a level of bias. I watch every single game that Machado plays. I think when you consider the circumstances of what he did in the absence of Tatis, that's the reason for me he would absolutely warrant a first place vote over Goldschmidt and Arenado because they had each other. And that's not really their fault. But I do believe Manny Machado gets like the extra credit or the additional, like that's the separator for me. These are all top 3 caliber players that they were voted as such. They're the finalists. Now you're right. I mean, I think it's such an analytical statistical sport that statistically Machado did not have the best year of those 3. I think that's a factual statement. But do the Padres put themselves in the position to finish the year like they did without Machado? No. I mean, we'd be foolish to think that. I don't think they're a playoff team. Without Manny Machado, I think the Cardinals would have found their way in the absence of one of those 2 players. So, yeah, I think Manny Machado absolutely has an amazing case for MVP. I think I'm prepared to be let down, but I'm
No.
also prepared to say that Manny Machado had as good of a year as those other 2 players. And without Manny Machado, the Padres aren't in a position that they ultimately were in this year.
Do you think he's going to be second place in front of Arenado? It feels like to
Man,
me Goldschmidt's going to win. Manny's second with Arenado third.
I kind of, I could see that. I feel like this is the time finally where Machado finishes over Arenado. And I think the reason that that would happen is because voters might say, you know what, Goldschmidt is the most deserving. And you know what, for once, I'm going to put Machado second, because it's like if Goldschmidt's going to win it, if he's going to get a lot of the first place votes
Right.
and he's teammates with Arenado, I could see people saying, you know what, this is how I'm going to justify it. I think Machado had a really nice year. I think Goldschmidt's the best player. I think Arenado's great, but let me give Machado the edge here because neither are going to win it. So I'll put Machado second, Arenado third. I do ultimately think that's the way it shakes out. Again, I think there's like this inside straight draw, so to speak, for Machado to win it. Like if these guys split votes, but it's not really like that. You're not making one vote. You're voting for first and second and
Yeah.
third.
Yep.
So they're not splitting votes. You might get some ones and some twos for those 2 players, but I don't think you're getting 2s and 3s because they're splitting votes necessarily. So
Right.
I think ultimately Goldschmidt wins this award. And I don't know if it's better or worse that Machado finishes second as opposed to third, but it'll be nice to see him finish over Arenado if that is the case, I guess.
Yeah. I guess that can be a positive